So today we're going to be taking a look at how to balance a camera with a large lens on a DJI Ronin S. Hey, Luke with Wedding Film Coach here. Thanks so much for stopping by the channel. If you are interested in video, specifically wedding filmmaking, then this is a great channel for you. As a matter of fact, if you are interested in getting started with wedding filmmaking and you haven't yet, or you've just gotten started, a great resource for you would be my free ebook. I'm going to include a link in the description below. Go there, check out that ebook. Again, it's absolutely free, no cost to you at all. I just love helping people out, and that is going to save you a ton of time, a ton of headaches, and it's really going to help you out, so check that out. And so today's video is all about how do we balance a camera with a large lens on a DJI Ronin S gimbal. I've done a few other videos on how to get this gimbal set up, how to balance it, and got a lot of great feedback on those, so I'm helping people, which is what I love to do. And one of the most asked questions was actually, hey, can it balance with this lens, or can it hold this much weight? As far as weight is concerned, probably, sorry, as you can tell, I'm filming outside again because my girls are asleep, and every now and then a large truck goes by and just makes a lot of noise, so bear with me. So as I was saying, as far as weight is concerned, most likely the answer is going to be yes, it can balance on there. It's just going to be as far as how it's going to balance. And so the first thing you want to do is make sure that your plate that you connected onto your base plate for the gimbal is as far towards the front of the lens as it can be. This is going to allow you to, if I can show you here, this is going to allow you to scoot this back as much as you can to get as much of this weight from the lens balanced on the back end of the camera, which is going to help, and this will make a lot more sense once we get to balancing. So without further ado, let me show you how I'm going to balance this lens on this gimbal. And I haven't done it yet, and so I'm just thinking, hoping, I'm pretty sure that it will balance. If it doesn't, then I'm going to embarrass myself, and I'm going to leave it in here, and you get to see that. So let's go. So I'm going to do this in kind of the profile view for your benefit, and let's see here, let's stick the plate on. Okay. And first thing we want to do is get it balanced forwards and backwards, and we'll get the side to side afterwards. And a little pro tip, I'll probably make another video about this, but pro tip, if you're having trouble balancing and this base plate keeps sliding back and forth every time you kind of test it, just gently push this locking plate right next to where it meets the base plate here, and it's going to tighten it up just a little bit, enough to where you can still slide it, but it's not going to be completely loose. If that made sense at all, I hope it did. If not, again, I'll make another video about kind of some pro tips on how to use the DJI Ronin S. But for now, let's see how this is working. Okay, need to go backwards, more backwards, almost. Got that part. Okay, so I have 3 axis balance so far. I have this axis where it's going completely vertical. Then I have this one, forwards and backwards. Then I also have the side to side. Don't forget about that. It's not really a 4th axis, but it's the 4th way to balance it. It's the 4th gear or mechanism to balance it. I'm not exactly sure what you call it. That's this part right here down at the base, the very bottom balancing part. And you just tilt it ever so slightly, and see it's still too heavy on this side. So I'm going to bring more of the weight back. All right, well there I have this camera with this big old lens balanced. And I don't think I said before, but if you're wondering, this is the new Sigma 85 1.4 art lens for native Sony. So it's the E mount. And it's a great lens. I'm actually going to be doing another video, kind of a review of that. but I'm actually going to be getting rid of this lens. It's not quite what I wanted as far as for my workflow. The quality is definitely great, but I'll tell you more about that in another video. Okay, so for now, we have this gimbal balanced. So it's balanced. Obviously the motors aren't on right now. Let me turn the motors on for you. Bing. Zzz. All right, I love that, like zzz, it kind of gives whenever it turns on like a lightsaber. All right, there you go, it's balanced. That is a lot of weight. That is a lot of weight on that gimbal. So I definitely would not want to be holding this all day, but woo. If you wanted to carry around a weapon, I mean, I think this could suffice. You got like the nice long, you got a bludgeoning end on it. You could probably stab somebody with that. I don't know. You'd have to sharpen them down a little bit. But what this video is about is balancing a large lens on this gimbal. And as you can see, the Ronin S takes it in stride. It's not giving me the little vibrations. It's not struggling. The motors are doing just fine. You know, sometimes you can hear the motors really get worked up if they're being overexerted. And this gimbal is just handling it just fine. And so yeah, I just wanted you guys to see that, how it happened. So again, to kind of explain what I did, because probably in editing I put all that in fast motion, but you want to get this part of the base plate, you want that to stick out towards the front of the camera, towards the lens as far as possible when you actually mount it to your camera. That way there's plenty there's plenty of that to grab onto the base of the Ronin S when you need to move it back. See, if I put this too far back on my lens, it wouldn't have enough slack to balance it all out. And so hopefully that makes sense, but make sure you got as much of that base plate towards the front of your camera as possible, and that way it's going to give you enough slack to be able to balance that properly on the Ronin S. And as you can see, I mean, I'm almost kind of to the edge there. There's really not any of that base plate left sticking out over the lock, and so it would probably give us a little bit more. Let me turn the motors off here. Another pro tip, if you want to turn the motors on the gimbal off and you don't want that beep sound to come on again whenever you turn it on again, just double tap your power button and it's going to essentially pause the motors instead of turning them off completely. And then when you double tap, it's going to re-engage the motors, but it's not going to have that beep. So if you're in a wedding ceremony or a special moment, or you just don't want to hear that beeping sound, that's a little pro tip for you. Double tap. All right, so let's see. Yeah, I don't have much left here, and even there's not much room here. And so I think this 85 lens, yeah, just about a ½ inch left there, that if it was any heavier, it might be a problem. But that said, you can get some adapters and some other things to, again, make this to where any lens can fit on it. You just may have to kind of put some sort of apparatus on it that I know DJI is going to be coming out with soon, some different adapters, so that you can put your Reds on it, your Aries, your Alexas, the big cameras, and I think that this gimbal, it's going to be powerful enough to take care of all that. So I hope this video was helpful. I kind of rambled on a little bit, but I wanted to make it for you all because I know a lot of people have been asking. So what this means for you, if you have an 85 1.4 that you want to use with a gimbal, there's not going to be many instances where you're going to be doing that for long, if at all. I thought that I might be able to use this lens, and I'm getting into like another video, but I'm just babbling. We're talking, we're good friends, so I'm just going to tell you. I thought that maybe I could use this lens for some good detail shots, like rings, shoes, earrings, things like that. And the minimum focusing distance isn't quite what I need it to be, and yeah, it just didn't quite work out the way that I saw it in my head. And so anyway, It's not quite working for me. However, it is a great lens. Again, I'm going to put a lot of this into another video. But if you had a Sony 24-70 G Master or the Sony 24-105, it's not quite this big. The 24-70 G Master is around this size, I think. And so it should be able to handle both of those. It should be able to handle really anything you can throw on it. This was the biggest lens that I had. And so even if you're not using native Sony lens, if you're using Canon lenses or Nikon lenses, I think that anything you would want to put on a gimbal for a long amount of time, it'll be able to handle it. And the great thing about this gimbal, even if it's not 100% balanced, so if you still have a little bit of weight on the front end, and let me just show you here, if you have a little bit of weight on the front end left, let's say you can't quite balance it 100%, okay? So I'm gonna let that fall. You can see weight is definitely on the front end. Let's turn these motors back on. Like, it didn't struggle with that at all, at all. And so even if for some reason just the physics behind it, you don't have the apparatus you need to balance it 100% and it's not quite there, the motors are going to be able to handle that because they're so good, they're so strong, the software is so smart, it knows how to compensate for that extra weight that's out of balance. And so let me again just kind of show you, even, yeah, it's good. No shaking, no micro jitters. Even there, which is kind of a compromising position for a lot of gimbals where those motors are working really hard, it's fine. It's not vibrating or anything. And so just go show you how awesome this gimbal is. I haven't had, and I don't want to sound like just a fanboy, but I've used the cranes, I've used the pilot flies, and I've used this, and this consistently outperforms those other gimbals. Now, if everything's in a perfect world and all of your lenses and your cameras are going to balance and you're not doing anything crazy with your gimbals and you only need to set it up once and not worry about changing out a lot of lenses, then those other gimbals are probably going to be fine. But again, for the price, for the power, for the usability, I am in love with this gimbal. The only thing I don't like about it is the weight, but it seems like that's kind of a necessary evil. Maybe that's a good way to say it, a necessary evil to have the power that we have in it. I imagine that DJI will probably come out with something like a Ronin S Air or a Ronin S Lite, something like that. I know in their Mavic lineup, they have the Mavic Air. And so we could be seeing something smaller, something more lightweight with not quite as much power, but enough for what most people like myself would use. I'm not gonna be putting a red on this thing anytime soon. I rock with Sonys, they're lightweight. Most of the lenses I use are lightweight. And so I imagine that there's probably a market in there so that if you really wanted to own the market, DJI, you could probably make a DJI Ronin S Air and price it at $499, $599, and make it a little less powerful, make it a little smaller, make the battery even last a little bit shorter, not too much. 12 hours is about all we need, maybe 10 hours, maybe 9 hours, but if you come out with extra batteries, hey, that would be good, or a battery charging pack. Anyway, again, I'm just babbling, but I think that very well possibly could happen. But all that to say, for those of you who are wondering, this gimbal can balance heavy lenses. It's handling it like a pro, not any problems at all. And so if you use a lot of heavy lenses, if you use heavier cameras, and you were wondering, can this gimbal handle it? I know a lot of fanboys are talking great about it, but what does it actually look like? You know, I think you got a pretty good deal on your hands with the Ronin S. So take a chance. It's not much of a chance, pretty much a sure bet, but see how it works for you. Rent one if you can get your hands on it. It seems like B&H and DJI are both sold out at the moment. I haven't checked them today, but the last few days I've checked, they remain out of stock. So if you're at all interested in this, definitely request that stock alert on those websites. and I would just go ahead and buy it, and then you can always return it if you think you don't need it, or sell it to somebody else over the internet, because evidently they cannot make these things fast enough. Okay, hey, well, that is it for Luke today. Again, thank you so much for stopping by the channel. If you're interested in getting started with wedding filmmaking, check out the free ebook in the link in the description below. And if you're new around here, I'd love for you to subscribe. I really try to make helpful content. I know that I'm not the most entertaining guy on YouTube, and you know, that's really not me. That's not my personality. I'm not here for kicks and giggles. I'm here to be helpful. I love it when people comment in the comment section. They say, hey, I've looked everywhere around YouTube, nobody answered this question, and you answered it in like the first minute of your video. And that's really the guy I want to be. I want to be the helpful guy. I know you may not stick around and watch me for 30 minutes, and I'm okay with that. I don't have that much time to be making videos anyway. I got 2 beautiful little girls in there and an awesome wife. I want to be spending most of my time with them, but I'm trying this out. And so if I've helped you, encourage me, let me know that I've helped you in some way. And hey, ask a question. If I didn't cover something, ask a question. And again, I'm pretty active in the comment section. I respond to every comment, even if it's just a thanks for stopping by the channel or answering your question. Let me know how I can help. Thanks again. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.